we're celebrating a remarkable milestone in Cape Town's calendar of events, the 30th anniversary of the Cape Town International Kite Festival. Now, this vibrant celebration of colour, creativity and community has been bringing hope and awareness to mental health for 3 decades. The festival has grown from a small one-day event into an international phenomenon, attracting kite enthusiasts and mental health advocates from around the world. Joining us this morning is Dr Ingrid Daniels, the Chief Executive Officer of Cape Mental Health, the organization behind this incredible event. Dr Daniels, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Vivek, and good morning to all the Morning Live listeners. It's wonderful to have the opportunity this morning to talk to you about the Cape Town International Kite Festival.
Yeah. What's that about? Let's talk about it in granular detail. What is it about, and what's behind the Cape Town International Kite Festival's enduring popularity?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of those most cherished and popular events on the October calendar. And the Cape Town International Kite Festival really aims to brighten up the sky with wonderful kites to bring about much needed mental health awareness, first of all, and to raise funds for Cape Mental Health so that we can provide free mental health services to all who need a helping hand during difficult times. And so it's a wonderful moment for us to really talk about mental health.
And October, Dr. Daniels, is Mental Health Awareness Month worldwide. And while we live in, I would say, challenging and difficult times, there are so many economic and dire social conditions that impact our mental well-being. And even though mental health has gained more focus in society over the last few years, why would you say it's still so important to continue to raise mental health awareness?
Mental health is far more common and prevalent than we realize, and mental health matters. Poor mental health has a negative impact on the way we think, the way we feel, the way we react and the way we function. And so it's very important for us to talk about mental health and to raise much needed awareness. Just as we talk about our physical health, we want everyone to talk about their mental health and the challenges and to seek support and assistance as soon as they feel that they are needing support during difficult times.
Mm-hmm. And why does mental health stigma persist? What can we do to overcome it, really?
Yes, sadly, stigma is harming, it's negative, and it still exists. We during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was in fact a time in which everyone was speaking about their mental health. And we want to get back there, where we can have conversations that embraces our discussions around mental health and the importance thereof. Stigma is negative, and it's a major barrier to people seeking help. And we want to remove that barrier. It's important that these conversations are regular, that we talk about it, that we normalize it. I have to think of a quote by Glenn Close, who said, what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversations. And that's really what we want. We want people to talk about their mental health and well-being. We want people to call us whenever they're needing support. No one should be alone in their challenges when they are either experiencing symptoms or just going through a difficult patch. We all need a helping hand at some time or the other. But the most important is that we change the conversations. We remove these barriers that shames rather than supports people, and that we show kindness.
Oh yes, indeed. And the theme for this year's Kite Festival is #Hope on a String. Tell us a bit more about the theme for the year.
Yes, it's a wonderful theme, isn't it? If you look at the challenges that people face daily, and we look at hope on a string, we look at a kite, the string is often quite fragile, and often we are quite fragile. Yet every tug on a string gives us the opportunity to be resilient, to hope, to make sure that, you know, when we look up into the sky, we see that kite soar against adverse winds. And at the end of that at the end of that string is a beautiful kite. And so hope on a string is, we want to say to everyone, there is hope, there is support, there are interventions that can support us on our journey. We are all fragile at times, and that string reminds us of our own fragility, but there is hope.
And another dimension, of course, is youth mental health. Why focus on youth mental health, and what's the long-term impact?
So youth mental health has become very critical, and we've seen an increase in prevalence, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our children and our adolescents, particularly in South Africa, face multiple risk factors. And it's important that we create the safe spaces and interventions for our young people.
Yes.
We know that between 10 to 20% of our young children and adolescents have a diagnosable mental health condition. Of further concern is the fact that 50% of adult mental disorders are established before the age of 14 years old. And so it becomes very critical that we identify mental health challenges of our children and create safe spaces for them in our homes, in our schools, in the playground, sports fields. It's important that our young people often don't have the language to express how they are feeling, but their behavior. And we see these changes, and we are saying it's important that we provide those mental health services to our children as soon as we identify changes. It was Nelson Mandela, and I have to read this quote because it's so profound, and he says, "Our children are the rock on which our future will be built."
Yes.
Our greatest asset as a nation. They will be the leaders of our country, the creators of our national wealth, those who care for and will protect. And if this is what we want to provide, then we have to ensure that we provide mental health care and support and the safety nets for our children and our adolescents.
Absolutely. Now, the Cape Town International Kite Festival's annual pop-up fly event will take place on Sunday, on the 27th of October, at Melkbosrand Beach. So what can the public expect at this year's event?
Well, it's going to be a spectacular event. You can imagine, with Table Mountain and the ocean as a backdrop and the sky as this beautiful canvas, it will be decorated with the most amazing kites. Kites that you'd never think could fly, such as Tweety birds, sometimes cars, even scuba divers, Disney characters. It's going to be a wonderful moment for the public to come out and enjoy this mental health spectacular, I want to call it. It's a time when adults can become children again. Children can fly, everyone. It's an event for everyone. There is no age limit. It's going to be beautiful. We have international kiters coming out this year, and then our local and national kiters will put into that sky the most beautiful, colorful kites, and you have to look up. You have to look up to see it. And in that moment, when you're looking up, I believe, all the burdens that we carry every day will subside in that moment.
And spectacular it will be. I mean, I've just seen pictures of elephants in the sky, cars in the sky, aeroplanes, aeroplanes, of course, in the sky. But how can people support the Cape Mental Health and the 30th Cape Town International Kite Festival?
So it's important that we get, obviously, as much support as possible. First of all, for people to come down on the 27th, next Sunday, to enjoy the event, but most of all to go onto our website, www.capementalhealth.co.za, and to back us by backing a buddy. Please donate as little or as much as you can. Buy a kite because all the proceeds from the kite sales, including obviously the backer buddy, will go towards us providing ongoing free mental health services to anyone who requires a helping hand and support during a difficult time. And I believe that it's a wonderful time for just families to come out, whether you buy a kite or whether you make a kite. Come out, support the event, and let's talk about mental health. I believe everyone who participates will be a mental health advocate to talk about the importance of mental health and mental well-being.
All right, Dr. Daniels, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a good day.
You too, thank you. That is Dr.
Thank
Daniels. Many thanks to her for sharing the inspiring story of the Cape Town International Kite Festival and its vital mission to promote mental health awareness. And as we celebrate 30 years of hope on a string, we are, of course, reminded of the power of community, of resilience and creativity in overcoming adversity. So this October, join Cape Mental Health and kite enthusiasts worldwide in celebrating this extraordinary event. You can visit the Cape Town International Kite Festival website for more information.